Hey there, this is Daryl Ballard, and if you're watching this video, I imagine it's because you were searching for what is your dream in life, or what is your biggest dream, something of that nature. And if that's what you were searching for, that's what we're going to talk about. So you're in the right place. And I want to thank you for joining us. I always put out a lot of content on the proper mindset for a successful business, online business, ways to grow your business, things of that nature. So if that's something you're interested in, definitely consider subscribing to my channel. We put out lots of content on that. Also, I want to mention I have a 4-day course on the essential steps to developing a 6-figure online business. I think you'll find it very helpful if that's something you're interested in. It's completely free. You can click on the link below. It's the first link anytime during this video. If that's something you're interested in, completely up to you. Okay, so let's get started talking about the biggest dream in your life. What is the dream in your life? I started thinking about this when I was watching some videos on YouTube. I don't know exactly why I started watching them, but it was kind of some interviews on the street asking people what their biggest dream was. Singular, biggest dream. So obviously we're thinking something big in your life. And it was kind of interesting what they said. I was a little surprised. I shouldn't have been, because I know the numbers on this, but I was a little surprised that most people weren't apparently thinking about that. They hadn't thought about it. And when they did, and to be completely fair, they had a camera put in their face and they were asked to, right on the spot, give their biggest dream. But after thinking about it for a few seconds, they came up with things like, I want a happy life. I want to be successful, to help people, to be on YouTube. That's a big dream. One of them said, I've always wanted to be on YouTube, as if that's hard. To live in Hawaii, to have my summers off. Okay, now there's nothing wrong with any of these things. In fact, the concepts of a happy life and being successful and helping people are really good, but they aren't really goals. How do you measure those things? I want a happy life. Well, I had a really happy life. It was 75% happy, but 25% of it, it just doesn't make sense. So, great concepts, but not really goals. We need to be more creative. We need to be more specific. We may need dates in it as to when we're going to try and do things. Lots of things that we put in goals that help us understand when we've attained them, that make them more, understandable, something that we want to do. All right, so we just don't often think about what we really want. We may think about what we want for lunch in a few hours, but not what we really want in life. That seems kind of backwards, at least it does to me. So, what are the numbers? Out of 100 people, how many people do you think have actual defined goals that they've written down and set? Well, this has been studied many times, and the numbers are pretty much the same every time. Slight variations, but it's basically 5 people have thought about their dreams, set goals, written them down, and are pursuing them. And just as an aside on this, how many people do you think are either rich or financially independent out of 100 people? You guessed it, it's 5. And are they the same 5 people? Well, you can just about bet that they're the same 5 people. I heard someone once say that the opposite of courage is not cowardice, it's conformity. Now, out on the battlefield, that may not be true, but I think in real life, in the business world, etc., I think that's right on the money. It's conformity. And when we conform Do we go with the 5% that have goals and know where they're going? No, we go with the vast majority. We go with the 95% who don't know where they're going, whose feelings are anxiety, what do I do next? Because they haven't set goals and they haven't planned for things. So what do we do about this? Well, my 3 or 4 suggestions are: sit down one day soon and take about an hour. You may even want to take more if you have the time to do that. You may need more, to think about it and to ask yourself the question, what do I want more than anything else in my life? What do I want most of all? Okay? Now you've thought about it, but the next important step is to write it down. Write it down on a piece of paper, write it down in a notebook, write it down. If you write on, electronically on your iPad or whatever, I do a lot of that, but it needs to be written. Something about the process of writing things makes it more real to us. Write it down so that you can go back and read it later. Okay? Now, over the next week or so, spend a few minutes every day thinking about this, reading over it, maybe writing any changes. You may make some modifications. It's possible you'll even throw everything out and start over. Doesn't matter, but you're working on coming up with, settling on what it is. What's the biggest dream in your life? Okay, now if you're really dreaming, you're probably wishing for or aspiring towards something that is big and different in your life, not something that you were raised with. It may require a complete different environment, a completely different lens that you're looking through. In fact, it probably should be. If it's not completely big and different, you're probably not really dreaming. You're probably not really getting the thing that you want most in life. So how do we change the environment? How do we change the lens that we look through? Well, we're talking about the subconscious mind. We want to change the environment of our subconscious mind, or the lens that we look through. Our subconscious mind is what deep down is controlling us. That's also where our preconceived ideas are, our self-limiting beliefs are. These are things that we got from the way we were raised, and there's not anything wrong with that. We just need to know how to change those things. Okay, so how do we do that? What is the language of the subconscious mind? Really important to understand this. The language of the subconscious mind is pictures. Now, when I say pictures, we're talking about word pictures. The subconscious mind uses books that we read, uses videos that we watch maybe on YouTube or whatever, articles that we read on blogs, endless ways. I listen to a lot of audio recordings for work on my subconscious mind. Okay, and these are creating word pictures in our mind, especially if they're well done, creative, lots of illustrations in them, that sort of thing. That creates good pictures in our mind that the subconscious mind can use. Okay, and how do we use these pictures to change the environment, to change the lens that we're seeing things through? Well, we have to impress that different environment, that different lens on our subconscious mind, because that's what controls us down deep. All right, and where do we get these pictures? Well, I want to give you a list, but I think the best thing you can do is you can use some of the ones that I'm going to give you from my list, but you can also search on Google for motivational speakers, or I like even success speakers better because it defines it in the direction that I want to go. But let me give you my list, and this is not some special list to me. In fact, I got these from my mentor who gave me this list of things to listen to and more, but these are just the ones that we have time to talk about tonight. The first one that I listen to practically every day is Earl Nightingale. The Strangest Secret is what it's called. Now, Earl Nightingale, as with all of these, has done other things, but that's probably the one he's most known for. And like I say, I listen to that every day. Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. This is actually a book, and probably the premier work on this topic. Goes way back. Earl Nightingale goes back to the 1950s. Napoleon Hill goes back even farther than that. Zig Ziglar, How to Get the Life You Really Want. Right down the middle of what we're talking about here. Les Brown, It Ain't Over Until You Win. Les Brown is a kick to listen to. I think you'll really enjoy that. It Ain't Over Until You Win. Brian Tracy, The Science of Success and Excellence. Okay, so there's a list of things to start with and a specific work that they've done. But as I say, all of these have done all kinds of things. And you can also Google motivational or success speakers and come up with more things for yourself. So how do we impress these pictures on our subconscious mind? Well, we do it by repetition. Okay? Repetition, that's the way a baby learns language. And I can hear some of you saying, yeah, but I'm not a baby anymore. Adults learn in different ways. Well, that's probably true for a lot of things, but when it comes to training our subconscious mind and getting those deep in, almost set in concrete, preconceived ideas that we were raised with, we need to learn the same way a baby learns, by repetition. So maybe the first preconceived idea you need to work on is that as an adult, you don't learn by repetition. When it comes to our subconscious mind, we definitely do. Okay, so I suggest you give this a try. Earl Nightingale suggested a 30-day trial. He had you listening to his The Strangest Secret for 30 days. Gave you a specific set of tasks to do. And that's what I did, and it certainly has changed my life. And his question was, what do you have to lose? Well, a little bit of time is the biggest thing you have to lose. But what do you have to gain? If this actually does something for you, and I can just about guarantee you it will, if you'll use an open mind and go after this, you have the life of your dreams to gain. Okay? What do you think? If you've liked this, let me know. Give me some comments down below. If you've really enjoyed it, give me some thumbs up. I'd appreciate that. Definitely consider subscribing to the channel concerning, developing an online business. And don't forget the 4-day course that's free that you can get, the essential steps to having a successful 6-figure online business. That's linked below. If you're interested in that, it's certainly up to you, but it's there for you. Okay, thank you for joining me on the video. This is Daryl Ballard, and we'll see you on the next one.